Hello and welcome to our Fireside Chat series, Voices of Change, brought to you by Great Learning. I'm Sapna Kapoor, Head of DEI Initiatives. This series aims to spotlight the incredible work being done by DEI leaders who are shaping more inclusive and equitable workplaces. Throughout the series, we hope to inspire, inform, and engage our audience by exploring the tangible strategies and transformative ideas that fuel DEI work. Well, it's an absolute pleasure to have Kavita Joshi, Associate Director, Yellow AI, join us today. Kavita, your journey and commitment to advancing DEI have inspired many. I'm looking forward to diving into your experiences and insights. But before we get started, could you briefly introduce yourself to our audience?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sapna. I'm like Sapna said, I'm currently working as an HR business partner and performance lead at Yellow.ai. I've worked with several organizations also in the past, like Nielsen IQ and HDFC Securities, and I've contributed in different capacities. I think in my 11 years of experience, I have focused on areas like diversity, equity, inclusion, talent management, learning, and organization effectiveness.
Wonderful. Let's dive right in with our first question. You've had an impressive journey in DE&I. What inspired you to take on this role, and how has this perspective evolved over the years as you've engaged with this work?
What inspired me to take up this role? So, see, naturally, being a part of the people and culture function leads you to get involved in various aspects of DI execution. Personally, I've been fascinated with the uniqueness of individuals and the diverse strengths and perspectives that people bring into the workplace. And it gives me a lot of joy to witness these diverse viewpoints, and how people sort of collaborate using their strengths and to achieve a shared goal. So that's what sort of keeps me engaged to take up and continuously take up a DEI role. um, Coming to the next question, Sapna, where you asked how my perspective has evolved, right? So I always saw DI as a um, place and as a which sort of organizes these workshops and inspiration programs for women or any underrepresentative groups. However, over the years, I have seen that DI is much more than just a standalone role. It's a mindset, right? It's a mindset that has to permeate throughout the organization, I think, and especially at mid, senior, and leadership levels. Well, I think some organizations may have the privilege to have a dedicated DI function. In most cases, I feel like it's about fostering an inclusive environment, and it's a collective responsibility. And I think everyone should think about how they can champion and also measure on how DEI impacts their lives and impacts their workplace, and use and take shared goals and commitment for their organization.
Well, it's quite inspiring to hear your journey, and I'm sure your story will continue to motivate others in this important work. Now, given the shifting dynamics in today's workplace, how do you interpret D&I in the current organizational landscape?
I think, Sapna, when you talk about interpreting DI in the organization landscape, I feel like it's a key differentiator for businesses nowadays. It really helps in significantly differentiating the top line growth. As a consumer, if you observe, there's a clear trend today which is emerging where organizations are using a lot of data to be more inclusive, right? Look at the brands that you're wearing today, right? They're definitely size inclusive. There's a lot of positive body positivity coming out of a brand story. There is so much customization which brands are using for every individual. They want to make every consumer feel so important by customizing to their needs. Like, even the flour that you eat today, it's customized. We've moved from eating just a wheat flour to different kind of flours which you use to consume in your food. And I think you'll see so many such examples in and around you. look at the influencer business, which is doing so well today. And all these influencers are using and creating their own space, and they have the unique choices, and a lot of this getting so embraced by the audiences and people, and the users of social media. So I think it's definitely already out there, and I feel from a future standpoint, it is the client expectations are going to be increasingly more demanding on DEI needs. Even if you look at workplaces, right, the next generation of employees are asking for and demanding for more, organizations which are more purpose driven, which are attributors to sustainability and DEI. So a lot of talent expectations are going to be around these areas. And if you look at our work formats, right, we're all hybrid. And it's important for employees to feel that sense of fairness and transparency, which can come out in as performance indicators to drive that culture of fairness and transparency.
Wow, it's inspiring to hear how you navigate DE&I in today's evolving workplace. My key takeaway is adapting strategies to tackle challenges and opportunities while maintaining inclusivity and equity. Let's talk about learning and development. What innovative learning and development strategies are you implementing to foster inclusivity within your organization?
Some of the innovative strategies around L&D that I can tell you that we've used or we do plan to use in future would be cultural sensitivity. Literally, I think every organization nowadays works across geographies. So it's very important for employees to understand the cultural nuances, the regional nuances of a particular place, and also best practices on how to embrace those differences and uniqueness in different cultures, and use some of these best practices to collaborate better across geographies. So that's one. Then, what I can talk about is addressing the biases during performance evaluations. It's very important for managers to understand their own biases during performance evaluations, to understand how underrepresented groups might feel during a performance evaluation, how people working in hybrid environment, people coming to office versus people working from remote could be acting in a different way or performing in a different way, and how to kind of use some of your own learnings around biases and understand, and create that culture of fairness and transparency for your employees. So some of these are used as a form of sensitivity trainings or bias trainings and navigating biases through hybrid work environment. I think what we've also done, which is more towards really understanding people, and in general, would be like some of these specialized sessions on a day in the life of, a day in the life of, for someone like you, Sapna, would be so different from, versus for someone like me, even though we are, from the same genre, could be from the same genre, could be from the same gender. I think it really differentiates a lot for how you would like to be treated, how you would like to, you know, be spoken to at work versus how I would like to. So I think it's very important to sort of um and people, for people to understand how people are different and they want to be held differently. So a lot of these specialized trainings, and also on women health awareness, I think we've in the past seen a lot of policies coming about which probably don't um, foster a lot of diversity. So even for women and underrepresented groups to understand how they would perceive a certain policy change, and give them a forum to talk about what they feel, how our processes and policies are helping. And one of the most, I think, used um, I would say initiative in an L&D space is psychometric assessments. We've all used that in the past, but I think increasingly they are becoming more and more predominant, because it really helps, one, people understand what are their own unique skills, other people understanding how they can use and leverage different strengths in people, and specifically for manager and mid-level roles. It's very important for them to understand how to work together with people.
That's incredible work. I think, Kavita, your efforts are not only impactful, but also set a powerful example for driving meaningful changes. I'm sure you agree that tailored learning is a great way to ensure equity. As we see rapid advancement in technology, how do you think AI, the buzzword, can enhance D&I efforts, particularly in promoting equitable learning experiences?
In terms of promoting equitable learning experiences using AI, I would say, I would tell you, one of the things that I have personally struggled with in the past is to quickly identify representation gaps or understanding how the diverse group within an organization feel. And I think AI can be a biggest game changer in this area by aggregating the data and delivering actionable insights at a much faster pace. Recently, I've leveraged AI to summarize a qualitative feedback from a very specific group of employees. And the analysis was entirely unbiased and free from, personal context or interpretation of the individual reviewing that data, which made it more accurate and which made it really impartial. So I think AI is transforming a lot of these things, and I feel it is also transforming a lot of learning needs from employees. It really helps today. It really helps identify skill gaps across specific roles. It supports in role playing exercises. One of the key things that I've seen as a differentiator right now on learning experiences, that you and I can actually do a role play with AI to understand how can I implement. For example, if I have to implement using a difficult conversation, right? Earlier, I think it was all about kind of gaining that knowledge, but really implementing it separately on my own. But right now, AI can really help me role play and give me different context on how I can implement difficult conversation learning as a skill. So I think it's really sort of advancing on how people can use their learning capabilities.
Seeing the impactful work you're leading in this space is exciting and inspiring, Kavita. Your insights have been truly invaluable. Thank you so much. Before we wrap up, is there a message you'd like to leave our audience with about the importance of DNI?
Yes, 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 absolutely. And I think I'll go back to what I said in the past in this interview, Sapna, is that everyone is responsible for championing the change around themselves, and everybody is responsible to understand what DI actually means and how it impacts our lives daily as an employee and as an organization. And you, I think it's an important skill for everybody to hone and use some of these learnings to see how you can impact your clients, your organization, your peers, by taking some of these personal targets for yourself.
Beautifully said. I believe we have gained valuable insights into the significant strides being made across various organizations. Thank you once again, Kavita, for being a part of Voices of Change. It was wonderful speaking to you. This has been Voices of Change, brought to you by Great Learning. Until next time, stay committed to creating a world where everyone has a voice.